I wish someone had screamed this truth in my face years ago. Freedom isn't just about doing whatever you want. It's about building something that lasts. I was 27, drowning in a dead-end job, scrolling through life on a cracked iPhone screen, when I stumbled across Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations. That book didn't just change my mindset, it ripped my world apart and stitched it back together with fire. Smith wrote, "The real price of everything is the toil and trouble of acquiring it." Those words hit me like a freight train. I'd been trading my time, my energy, my life for nothing but paychecks that vanished by the 15th of every month. I wasn't free. I was a cog in someone else's machine, and I was breaking. Let me take you back to 2019. I was working 60-hour weeks at a retail job, folding clothes for people who barely looked at me. My bank account was a revolving door of debt, $12,000 in credit card bills, $400 in savings, and a car loan that laughed at my paycheck. I'd come home, collapse on my couch, and scroll through social media for hours, envying influencers who seemed to have it all. Freedom? I didn't even know what that word meant. I thought it was about quitting my job and backpacking across Europe, but Smith's book made me see it differently. Freedom wasn't escape. It was ownership. Ownership of my time, my choices, my future. He wrote, "The property which every man has in his own labor is the foundation of all other property." That line burned into my brain. My labor was mine, but I was giving it away for pennies. I remember the exact moment it hit me. It was 2 a.m., and I was doom scrolling, my eyes bloodshot, my mind numb. I'd just spent $200 on takeout that month, money I didn't have because I was too exhausted to cook. I looked at my life and saw a hamster wheel. I was running, but I wasn't going anywhere. Smith's words kept echoing, toil and trouble. I was toiling all right, but for what? A promotion that'd pay me $2 more an hour? A vacation I couldn't afford? I felt trapped, not by chains, but by my own choices. I'd bought into the lie that working harder for someone else would make me free. It didn't. It made me miserable. The turning point came when I started questioning everything. Why was I spending 80% of my income on rent and bills? Why was I too tired to chase my dreams? Why was I letting my life slip through my fingers? Smith's book wasn't just about economics, it was about power. The power to create wealth, not just for kings or corporations, but for yourself. He talked about division of labor, how specialization could make you more productive. But I saw something deeper. I wasn't specializing in anything. I was a generalist in a dead-end job, spreading myself thin, pleasing everyone but myself. I decided then and there I was done being a pawn. My first step was brutal honesty. I tracked every penny I spent for a month, $3.50 lattes, $15 streaming subscriptions, $50 impulse buys on Amazon. It added up to $600 I could have saved. I wasn't rich, but I was bleeding money on things that didn't matter. Smith's idea of real price made me rethink value. Every dollar I spent was a piece of my freedom, traded away for temporary comfort. I cut it all out, canceled subscriptions, cooked at home, sold my car, and took the bus. It wasn't glamorous. It was humiliating at times, riding a packed bus while my old coworkers drove past in their SUVs. But for the first time, I felt in control. Then came the harder part, my job. I realized I wasn't growing. I was stagnating. Smith wrote about how markets reward those who create value, not those who just show up. I wasn't creating anything. I was folding shirts, not building a future. So, I started learning. I spent my evenings on free online courses, coding, digital marketing, anything that could make me valuable. I'd stay up until 3 a.m., my laptop burning my thighs, teaching myself skills I could sell. It wasn't easy. I failed a dozen times, flunked coding quizzes, botched freelance pitches, but every failure was mine, not my boss's. For the first time, I felt like I was investing in myself. By 2021, I'd saved $5,000. Not a fortune, but enough to quit my job and freelance full-time. I was terrified. What if I failed? What if I ended up broke again? But Smith's words kept me grounded. The greatest improvement in the productive powers of labor is the effect of the division of labor. I specialized. I focused on one skill, copywriting, and got good. Really good. My first client paid me $500 for a single project. Then, $1,000. By 2023, I was earning $4,000 a month, working 20 hours a week. I wasn't rich, but I was free. Free to set my hours, free to say no, free to build something that was mine. Looking back, The Wealth of Nations didn't just teach me about money. It taught me about power. The power to choose, to create, to grow. I went from a broke, burned-out retail worker to someone who owns their time. But it wasn't magic. It was a fight. A fight against my own habits, my own fears, and a system that wants you to stay small. I'm not special. If I can do it, so can you. But it starts with a choice. To stop trading your life for someone else's dream. The moment I realized I could take back my life, I stopped waiting for permission. Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations didn't just wake me up. It gave me a blueprint. His words, "It is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own interest," hit me hard. People don't hand you freedom on a silver platter. You have to carve it out yourself, step by brutal step, by creating value that others can't ignore. I went from a burned-out retail worker to a freelancer calling my own shots, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Not with vague advice, but with a plan you can steal today. Step 1. Audit your life like it's a sinking ship. I sat down with a notebook and tracked every hour I spent for a week. The results were nauseating. 35 hours on my phone, 60 hours at a job I hated, 10 hours on Netflix. I was giving my life away hour by hour to things that kept me stuck. Smith's idea of real price made me see time as currency. Every minute I scrolled was a minute I wasn't building. So, I got ruthless. I deleted social media apps, set a 1-hour daily limit on my phone, and used a free app called Freedom to Block Distractions. It felt like detox, sweaty, miserable, but liberating. By week 2, I had 20 extra hours to invest in myself. Step 2, find a skill that pays. Smith talked about division of labor, specializing to create more value. I wasn't going to be a jack of all trades anymore. I picked copywriting because it had low startup costs and high demand. I scoured free resources, YouTube tutorials, Coursera courses, even pirated ebooks. Don't judge, I was broke. I spent 10 hours a week learning, practicing on fake projects until I could write emails that didn't suck. Within 3 months, I landed my first $200 gig on Upwork. It wasn't much, but it proved I could make money without a boss. Pick one skill, coding, design, writing, whatever, and get obsessed. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards what you can deliver. Step 3. Stop spending like an idiot. Smith's book hammered home that wealth isn't just what you earn, it's what you keep. I was bleeding $600 a month on nonsense. Takeout, subscriptions, clothes I didn't need. I cut it all. Cooked rice and beans for weeks, canceled Spotify, even sold my TV for $100. It hurt, but it worked. In 6 months, I saved $3,000, enough to cover rent if a client ghosted me. Track your spending for 30 days. You'll be shocked at how much you waste. Redirect that money to a savings account or a course that makes you better. Every dollar you save is a step toward freedom. Step 4. Build a safety net, but don't wait for it. I didn't quit my job until I had $5,000 saved and 2 steady clients. Smith wrote, "The prudent man, does not expose himself to any danger. Quitting without a plan isn't brave, it's reckless." I started freelancing on the side, working nights after my retail shifts. It was brutal, 4 hours of sleep some days, but it gave me proof I could survive without a 9 to 5. Start small, 1 client, 1 project. Use platforms like Fiverr or LinkedIn to find work. Build until your side hustle out-earns your day job. That's when you leap. Step 5. Protect your mind. The world wants you distracted. Ads, notifications, even your friends telling you to just chill. I failed a dozen times because I let doubt creep in. Smith's idea of self-interest taught me to guard my focus like a vault. I set boundaries. No phone after 9 p.m., no quick drinks with friends who mocked my hustle. I surrounded myself with people who pushed me, like a mentor I found on Reddit who'd built a 6-figure business. Find one person who's done what you want and learn from them. Their success is your shortcut. The results, night and day. Before, I was a zombie, earning $2,000 a month, spending it all, with 0 savings. Now, I work 20 hours a week, earn $4,000 a month, and have $15,000 in the bank. I read 12 books last year, traveled to 3 countries, and started a blog that's making $200 a month on its own. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm free. Free to say no to bad clients. Free to wake up without an alarm. Free to live on my terms. Smith's book showed me that wealth isn't just money, it's control. Control over your time, your choices, your life. You don't need to be a genius, you just need to start. You're standing at a crossroads right now. You've heard my story, you've got the steps, but none of it matters unless you move. Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations didn't just give me a plan. It gave me a fire. His words, "Every individual intends only his own gain, and he is in this, led by an invisible hand to promote an end which was no part of his intention," shook me to my core. That invisible hand isn't some mystical force. It's the power of your choices, your hustle, your refusal to stay small. I went from a broke, exhausted retail worker to someone who owns their life. Not because I'm special, but because I acted. Now it's your turn. Don't let this video be another 15 minutes you scroll past. Make it the moment you take back your freedom. Start today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Open your phone, check your screen time, and write down how many hours you're wasting. I was at 35 hours a week, drowning in TikTok and Instagram. I bet you're not far off. Take one step from the plan I shared. Delete one app, sign up for a free course, or track your spending for a single day. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Smith's book taught me that wealth and freedom come from action, not dreams. Every minute you hesitate is a minute you're giving away to someone else's empire. Picture this. A year from now, you're waking up without a boss breathing down your neck. You've got $5,000 in the bank, a side hustle pulling in $1,000 a month, and time to chase what sets your soul on fire. That's not a fantasy. It's what I did, and I'm nobody. But it starts with a choice. Right now, you're either building your own wealth or someone else's. There's no middle ground. Smith's invisible hand only works if you move it. So, move. If this hit you, smash that subscribe button. I'm dropping videos every week on how to break free, build wealth, and live on your terms, not someone else's. Share this with one friend who's stuck in the same rut you're in. Trust me, they'll thank you later. And drop a comment below. What's the one thing holding you back from your freedom right now? Is it your job, your habits, your fear? Be honest. I read every comment, and I'll reply with real advice to get you unstuck. Don't wait for a sign. The wealth of nations was mine, but this video is yours. You've got the tools, the story, the proof. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? Stop trading your life for scraps. Start building something that lasts. Your freedom is waiting. Go claim it.